What if you don't know how many times your code should run, but you still want to keep it running until something happens? That's exactly where while loops come in. And today you will learn how to use them step by step. Hello, learners, welcome to your Learning Hub, the Learning Loop. I am Swati Sharma, and this is the 29th video of my beginner friendly Python Go series. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you for dropping by. And if you haven't checked out my previous videos yet and you are starting out on your Python journey, I will highly recommend you to go back and check those out so that you are all caught up. Before we move ahead, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, go ahead and press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any future videos. In today's video, we will move to our second loop, while loops. We will understand what while loops are, when to use them, and how they are different from for loops, and we will go through some examples. So, without a further ado, let's dive in. Let's first understand what while loops are. A while loop is used to repeat a block of code as long as a condition is true. So instead of running a loop a fixed number of times as we did with for loops, a while loop runs based on a condition. Hence, we use while loops when we don't know how many times a loop should run and we want the loop to continue until a condition is false. Let's quickly understand the difference between the for and while loop. A for loop is used when you know how many times you want to run something, whereas a while loop is used when the loop is dependent on a condition. Hence, a for loop is iterable based and a while loop is condition based. Now that we have understood what while loops are and how they are different from for loops, let's quickly see how can we write them in Python. We will start with the keyword while and then we will give a condition. Colon, hit enter and the next line is intended and we will write the block of code that should run. Now here Python checks the condition and if the condition is true, it goes to the next line and runs that code block. Now it will keep running until the condition in the first line is true. Let's quickly understand this with an example. I will be doing today's demo in Google Colab and I will be pasting the link to this notebook in my description box below. So just in case you would like to come back in future and check the code out, you can go ahead and do that. Let's quickly understand with a very simple example how while loops work. Then we will try to understand one real world example, how we can use the while loop. Let's say I take a variable I and assign a value 1 to it. And I now want to print the numbers from 1 to 5 and I will use while loop to do that. So I would say while I is less than is equal to 5. Now this is a condition that I've given which means while or until unless I is less than equal to 5, keep running the code below. So next line is intended and I say print I. Now which means as this line is intended, if the above condition is true, come to the next line and run that block of code. I print the I and I gave the next line I plus is equal to 1. Now let's quickly understand how this works in the backend and then we will run the code and look at the result. So as you can see in the very first line, I have declared the variable I is equal to 1. So which means the starting value of I is 1. Go to the next line and we say while and gave the condition I is less than is equal to 1. So the current value of I is 1 which is less than is equal to 1. This condition is met, this condition is true. Hence, it will go to the next line and look at what action we have given. We have given print I. So what it would do is print the value of I which is 1. The next line, it goes and checks what action it has given. It is written I plus is equal to 1. Now this is called compound assignment operator, which I have discussed in my previous videos. I will paste the link to that video above, so you can go ahead and check that out just in case you're not aware how this works. For your reference, for this example, this means I is equal to I plus 1, which means now the value of I becomes 2. It goes again to the while loop and checks the condition, and the current value of I is 2. So it is still true, and it is less than 5. So it goes to the next line, and what it does, first it printed 1, then it printed 2, and now the value of I becomes 3. Again, it is less than is equal to 5, so it prints 3. Again, the value of I is increased by 1. Again, checks the loop. 4 is less than equal to 5. It prints the 4. Now the value of I is again increased by 1. Checks the condition again. And 5 is equal to 5. We have less than is equal to, so it will print 5. Now the value of I becomes 6. As soon as the value of I becomes 6, the condition is false and the loop stops. Let's quickly run it and look at the result. You can see it has printed the values from 1 to 5. Now this I plus is equal to 1 is very, very important, because if I remove this, the value of I here is 1, as you can see, and it will check, okay, I is 1, and which is less than is equal to 5, and it is true. It will go to the next line and print 1. Now we are not increasing the value of I, so what would happen is it will keep going back to that loop and keep running it, and it will not stop, and it would become what we call as infinite loop. So please make sure when you are running the while loops, you do not run into an infinite loop, and you give a proper condition so that the loop stops at some point. Let's run it and see what really happens when we do that. And you can see it is running. It is not stopping unless I manually stop that, it won't stop. Because the condition is always true and it will not stop. So make sure that you give a proper ending condition to make sure that loops ends at some point and you do not run into any infinite loops. Let's just quickly run it again, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look at one, let's say password check. Let's say in order to access a system, a user has to input a password, and it will keep prompting a user to give a correct password unless the user enters the correct password. So how would we write? We will say correct underscore password. That's the variable I've given for the correct password, and I write Python 123. Okay, and then I'll give one empty input or empty variable as well, that is user input, to compare something. So then I write while user underscore input is not is equal to the correct password, it will prompt the user to enter the password, and once this has been executed or it has processed the password, we will write access granted, and this has to be out of the while loop. It cannot be under the while loop. It should be once this while loop has been processed, it would be printed access granted. Let's run it, and it is asking me to the print password. Let's say I give any password, and see it again gave me the prompt to enter the password. I write okay, again gave me the password, and I write Python 123, that's the correct password, and it says access granted. Okay, You can also do this here. You write this another if condition under it, that if user input is not equal to password, print access denied. We write this and I write demo. It says access denied. I write hello. Again, it says access denied. Let's give the correct password and say Python 123 and you say access granted. Now it's your turn to practice. I would like you guys to pause the video and try these programs using a while loop. Write a program to print the numbers from 1 to 10 using while loops. Write a program to print even numbers from 2 to 20 using a while loop. And write a program to print numbers from 10 to 1 in reverse order using while loops. Pause the video and try these on your own. In the next video, we will take loops a step further and learn about loop control statements like break, pass, and continue. If this video helped you understand while loops a little better, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, happy coding.